Hello everyone and welcome to part 8, believe it or not, of Life on the Railway. I hope you are enjoying this series. If you are, remember to give these videos a like, remember to comment and share, and consider subscribing to my channel if you so wish. This time we're going to be looking at passengers, which are a big part of the railway. The first actual rail passenger coaches were reserved for those travelling first class and were little more than stagecoaches set on flange wheels. Open trucks continued to be used for third class, mostly without seats, until an accident on Christmas Eve in 1842 when third class passengers were in trucks attached to a goods train. The train ran into a landslip. 8 passengers died and 17 were seriously injured. A law was promoted by the MP William Ewart Gladstone and passed in 1844, which stated that all companies had to provide at least one train a day in both directions with covered compartments for third class at a rate of 1 penny, which equated to half a penny per mile. The decision had a knock-on effect. If the second class passengers were going to pay more than third class, they expected more for their journey. They wanted proper carriages and upholstered seats, so there you go. By the middle of the 19th century, all passengers had at least cover over their heads, which is something I suppose, but rail travel for many was far from comfortable. In winter, passengers huddled under blankets or hired foot warmers at the station to keep warm. The Midland Railway led the way in making improvements. In 1875 they abolished second class altogether, making all existing second class coaches into third class. They introduced a new class of 6-wheel carriages with 4 first class compartments, usually 5 third class and a luggage compartment. The third class compartments had seats stuffed with horsehair and covered with rough cloth, while first class enjoyed sprung seats with sides like comfortable armchairs. The carriages were described at the time as lofty, which simply meant, unlike earlier versions, it was possible to stand up straight in them. An improvement that the passengers did not see, but whose effects were certainly felt, was the introduction of wheels mounted on sprung bogies, which were pivoted, unlike the old fixed axles. This produced a much smoother ride. Railway travel was becoming something that could actually be enjoyed rather than endured for all types of passengers, and people began going on rail excursions. As early as 1841, Thomas Cook had arranged an excursion train from Leicester to Loughborough, taking 500 passengers to a temperance meeting for a return fare of 1 shilling 50p for adults and 6pence 2.5p for children. It was the start of a successful railway excursion empire that was eventually to take passengers around the globe. Rail travel changed many places forever. For example, when the railway reached Blackpool in 1846, it was little more than a village, but within half a century it became the main holiday resort for industrial Lancashire, and each summer brought in the crowds. Seaside resorts have been places for wealthy tourists until the railways introduced the masses. Interesting fact to finish the video is known as the Sutty solution. The improvements in third class travel had an unfortunate effect as far as the railway companies were concerned. As a Victorian writer expressed it, certain persons in superior positions were base enough to travel in third class carriages. The Manchester and Leeds Railway apparently had the answer. They reserved third class compartments for the better classes, but before the train was made ready, they paid a chimney sweep to empty his bag of soot into it. Yeah, that's brilliant. So I do hope you have enjoyed this part 8 of Life on the Railway. Remember to give it a like, share and subscribe, and tick the notification bell to never miss a video. Thank you so much for your support, and until the next part, please take care of yourselves and goodbye for now.